because Geely happened. Now, I'm thrilled to see audience here. This is amazing. Not always the case. Who here saw the flyer for tonight's show? Make some noise. All right, to some of you newcomers, did you come to this show actually expecting to see Steve from Blue's Clues performing? Like, I'm just saying, I love that ad, but I'm like, oh dear, we are setting some people up for like more disappointment than they're actually gonna get. No, it's cool. I'm used to getting it, folks. For those people who do not know, Steve Burns was the host of a show called Blue's Clues back in the 90s. To tell you what, just ask your kids. Okay, from the looks of it, some of you ask your grandkids. But either way, I have actually been mistaken for Steve Burns on a couple of occasions. Like the first time it happened, I was like, no, I just look a lot like him. And then the second time I was like, yeah, I'm gonna let you have it. You seem like you need the victory. And folks, I just imagine he ran off to see his friends like, guys, I just saw Steve from Blue's Clues at an open mic in Atlanta in the middle of the day. His career must really be in the dumps. Yeah, sure it is, kid. Like, folks, I get it. I look like every bald white man with glasses. And I love that people say that like they're just expecting it to be the first time. Like, Pete, you look like Moby. Never heard that shit before. Pete, you look like the dean from Community. Okay, folks, that one doesn't even make sense. The dean from Community is a creepy weirdo with an annoying voice who's constantly dressing up in elaborate costumes. Never mind, that one's actually kind of perfect. All I want from life is to be so famous that other bald white guys with glasses are told, hey, you look like that one Augusta comedian who never performs in Augusta. And I'll be like, mission accomplished. Let's make some noise for Augusta, everybody. Make some noise. All right. Who here is from Augusta? Born here. All right. I saw like one other person like, yeah, kind of. They're from Evans. It's fine. No, I love Augusta. It's like if they took the most economically depressed block of Atlanta, put it on a golf course, and just called it a city. No, but I do love a lot about Augusta. Like, for example, this is the cultural center of the Central Savannah River area. Take that, Aiken! Like, I mean, think of all the great icons that came from this city. Like James Brown, the hardest working man in show business. And probably other people. I think we have Tasty from Orange is the New Black. That's cool. No, but I do. Thank you. One person. That's the victory of the night. No, but I do love how much this city has embraced its native son, James Brown. Like, for example, did you know that there are 3 signs for the James Brown statue on the same block as the James Brown statue? Augusta, if you wanted people to see the statue, maybe you should have made it taller than 3 feet. Every time I've told that joke here, someone stands up and goes, that was his actual height. And I'm just thinking, wow, what a great excuse to not spend more money on the statue. Like, folks, if you've never seen it, it looks like they took like a lawn gnome that kind of resembled James Brown, spray painted it bronze, and we're like, well, we'll just tell people he was short. Oh, goodness gracious. No, but Augusta really is the second best city in Georgia that begins with an A and ends with an A. Take that, Alatoona. Is that really a place? I'm not from the South. I'm just guessing. It sounds like, you know what? Speaking of which, what is with cities in Georgia having Greco-Roman names? Like, it's weird, right? Like, we've got Athens, Rome, Atlanta, Augusta, Helen, Sparta. Like, were the founding fathers in England thinking, which of our new territories evokes the birthplace of Western civilization? How about this backwoods swamp filled with hillbillies? Socrates would be so proud is what I'm saying. Now, Augusta's name actually comes from a Latin phrase, which means fine for a week. Fun fact, folks, that week is never PGA Masters Tournament. Now, the word Augusta, used in a sentence. A gust of wind could blow over most of the buildings downtown. It's okay, they're empty anyhow. Now, I do really want to thank Happy Bones wherever he is, probably smoking. Oh, there you are.
I wasn't smoking weed.
You took a break from me. Thank you so much. I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity to perform here for these great people tonight. Happy Bones called me up and was like, hey, Pete, do you think you could perform for 30 minutes? And I was thinking to myself, if I can perform for more than 30 seconds, I'm already proud of myself, folks. For the rest of you, that was a joke about premature ejaculation. Aren't you glad you brought your daughter here tonight? No, but I definitely agreed to do this because I saw it as a win-win situation. Like, if I'm funny here tonight, everyone's entertained, we have a good time. And if I really bomb, all of the aspiring comedians can be like, oh, that guy won a competition here? Man, there is hope for anybody, am I right? Like, comedians, trust me, nobody here can set the bar lower. My name is literally Barlow. Folks, I heard that joke once before I joined the Army and 9,000 times since joining the Army. I don't know what asshole in Ellis Island came up with that, but I hope they're turning in their grave right now, just laughing their ass off. I'll give it some pause. Speaking of bars that are low to the ground, make some noise for Fox's Lair, everybody. This is one of the things I truly love about Augusta. Like, for starters, this place is the only bar I've ever been to that sells my favorite beer. It's the banana bread flavored beer. What in the name of Peeps flavored Oreos is that about? Like, folks, every time I drink that banana bread beer, I just imagine its conception. Like, somebody was like thinking to themselves, I love banana bread, but I'm also an alcoholic. How can I combine my two great passions? And it was just born here. And like, folks, I think I'm the only one who ever orders it, so I'm definitely putting somebody's kid through college. Like, another thing I love about Fox's Lair, they are normally closed on Mondays, but they opened up just for us so that comedians all around the CSRA can continue to disappoint their parents. Thank you very much for that, Fox's Lair. Speaking of parents, what kind of stand-up comedian wouldn't? Make some noise if you have or had parents. Kind of figured I'd have a soft landing on that one. Now, make some noise if you did or if you do get along with your parents or did. I love that because it's a slightly rockier landing. It's like, yeah, their ghosts might be haunting me right now. I gotta pretend. Now, folks, my parents have some very strange priorities. Like, I told my parents that I wanted to get a dog, and my mom said, oh, honey, no, you cannot get a dog. You work such long hours. Dogs require constant love and attention. You know what you should do instead? You should have some kids. And I'm just like, cool, that explains so much about my upbringing. Thanks, Mom. Now, my parents are very different people. My mom is a retired speech therapist from Wisconsin, hence the ridiculous accent from earlier. My dad is a passive-aggressive beanbag from Ohio. Sorry, the Ohio part was redundant. That just describes the entire state. My mom, oh, that's right, you're from Toledo. You have my sympathy. Holy mackerel. If there's any city that Augusta looks down on, it's Toledo. Holy mackerel. Augusta at least used to be good. Like, I'm saying, folks, if you're from Ohio, like, everybody in Michigan's like, man, we dodged a bullet with that one, and we have Detroit and Flint. All right, but I digress. My mother is very athletic. When she was 60 years old, she ran the Boston Marathon. That's really cool. My father, on the other hand, looks like an albino version of Grimace. You know, the purple triangle monster from McDonald's. Like, I think genetically, I kind of landed somewhere in between those two extremes. It's just like pure mediocrity, like right here. Now, folks, at some point you look at your parents and you start to see them as being human. So every time I see my mom standing next to my dad, I just kind of look at them like, how exactly did this happen? And my mom is always quick to defend my dad. She's always like, well, you'd never guess it to look at your father, but he is a surprisingly good dancer. Folks, I have seen my father dance. He is not. So that is how she told me that my dad is great at sex. Thanks, Mom, for that mental image. Now, who here gets along with their dad? That is so much more muted than parents. I can tell which of you love your moms. I'm just saying. Who here gets along with their parents? Yay! Who here gets along with their dads? I called him on Father's Day. That's cool. I love my dad with all of my heart. That being said, when I was in school and I read the story of Oedipus, I got to the part when he kills his dad, and I'm like, I'm not saying he's right, but I understand. I told that joke to my dad once, and he was like, no, it's okay, son. I was just watching a documentary about Marvin Gaye. And when I got to the end of the movie, I'm like, not saying his dad was right, but I understand. Folks, that's the darkest joke I have ever written. It's so wonderful to find the line. I have a joke about killing my dad and him killing me. It's wonderful. My dad and I get along great. You all know the story of Oedipus, right? Yeah. Like the story about a man who mistakenly kills his father and then mistakenly kills his mother and then gets this like the best surprise ever. It's like the original M. Night Shyamalan twist. No, something has always bugged me about that story, and not the murder and incest part. How old was Oedipus's mother when he was born? Like, I'm just saying, like, he married her when he was a grown man. So, like, was he, like, really into older ladies? True story, I told that joke at an open mic once, and it landed about as well as it's doing right now. And someone in the audience shouts out, she was 14. First off, that's a weirdly specific fact just to have off the top of your head. Second, who the fuck was Oedipus's dad? Drake? Okay, we've got some older people in the crowd. Let me try that joke again. Who the fuck was Oedipus's dad? Jerry Lee Lewis? Was that closer to home? Okay, good. You got the reference. Fantastic. Either way, I think we can all agree that Oedipus's mother was like the original MILF. There we go, I got one dang. Like, I'm just saying, when Oedipus like came back from battle after killing his dad and he saw her and was like, damn, that's a mom I'd like to fuck, I imagine she was kind of thinking like, more than you realize, son, more than you realize. Hey, speaking of regrettable acronyms, can we all agree that there's a few out there that we need to retire? For example, at work, we have stopped using the acronym VIP, or Very Important Person, because it is considered exclusionary. So instead, we have started calling them, and this is true, high interest visitors. That's right, folks. We abandoned VIP and caught HIV. But wait, it gets better. My position at work is that I am the aide to a colonel. So an actual email that was sent out said, "Aides, we need you to get the HIV." That's right, AIDS were running rampant throughout the whole unit because we had HIV present that day. Folks, this is why you always need a second set of eyes on every first draft. And speaking of drafts, make sure that you order some drinks, tip your bartenders. My name's Pete, that's been my set. Thank you very much.
Hell, y'all give it up for Pete Barlow one more time. I got him that those suspenders and that bow tie, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just a real good guy like that. You know what I'm saying? But I selfishly started doing this because there's no place in Augusta for us comedians to really work out stuff, and so I was like, well, let me be selfish and.